Some of these seemingly ordinary coins could be hiding a jaw-dropping fortune worth thousands and even millions of dollars. From minting mishaps to rare metal compositions, certain Washington quarters are so scarce, collectors are to get their hands on them. That could change your life overnight. So check your pocket change, because one of these rare treasures might be closer than you think. Let's dive into the hunt for hidden riches. That's right, your pocket change might be holding a fortune. Today, we're cracking open one of the most overlooked yet explosive discoveries in the world of U.S. coin collecting, the 1979 D-era Washington quarter dollar. By the end of this video, you'll learn how to spot the rarest errors, why this coin has exploded in value, and how you could turn 25 cents into six figures. Background. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1932, first issued to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By the time we hit 1979, the coin had gone through major transitions. No longer made of silver after 1964, it now featured a copper core with a nickel outer layer, referred to as clad coinage. Off-metal error, $94,000 to $130,000. Double die obverse DDO, $25,000 to $65,000. Full blockage error, $88,000 to $130,000. Off-center strikes, $55,000 to $75,000. Missing clad layer, $40,000 to $65,000. Real auction sales values. Here are some verified sales of rare 1979 D-era quarters struck on silver planchet. PCGS MS66 private sale, $130,000. Full blockage, Mint State Heritage Auctions, $85,000. Off metal on 5-cent planchet. Annex, $58 Australian dollars, $105,000. Off center strike, 65% off. Great Collections, $38,200. DDO graded MS65 stacks Bowers, $59,000. Clearly, collectors are willing to pay huge amounts for the right combination of error plus condition plus rarity. How to identify a 1979 D-era quarter? Want to know if your 1979 D quarter is a jackpot? Here's how to examine it. Weigh the coin. Standard weight, 5.67 grams. Lighter, around 3.1 g. You may have a cent planchet error, heavier or silver-toned. Possibly a silver planchet. Inspect the obverse. Look at 1979 and Liberty with a 10x magnifying glass. Search for clear, raised doubling, especially in IN God We Trust. Color and tone reddish could be a missing clad layer, silver-colored. It might be an off-metal error. Check for odd strikes. Is the design off-center? Is one side blank or mirrored? Are there smooth edges where reading should be? If yes, you may have an off-center strike or blockage error. Get it certified. Send it to PCGS, NGC, or Annex for authentication and grading. Their certification dramatically increases the resale value. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1984 D-era Washington quarter dollar, its secret minting mistakes, the specific errors that make it so valuable, and how you can spot one in your own change. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be inspired to dig through your coin jar and discover the hidden treasure you've been sitting. Background. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to commemorate the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. Originally made of 90% silver, the quarter transitioned to a copper-nickel clad coin in 1965, after the rising cost of silver made precious metal coinage impractical. By 1984, the Washington quarter had already been circulating for over 5 decades and was being produced at an incredibly fast pace to meet national demand. Off-metal error, $125,000 to $145,000. Double die obverse DDO, $30,000 and $65,000. Off-center strike, $42,000 to $75,000. Missing clad layer, $65,000 to $90,000. Auction sales record. These aren't just theories, here are real-world examples of high-value 1984 D quarters. $145,000 private sale of a 1984 D quarter on a silver dime planchet, certified MS66 by PCGS. $100,000 Heritage Auctions. Full blockage 1984 D, mirror finish, MS66. $42,500 stacks Bowers, off-center strike, 70%, full date and mint mark visible. $125,000 missing clad layer on both sides, authenticated by NGC. Reported sale for a 1984 D quarter on a foreign silver planchet. How to identify a rare 1984 D-era quarter? Here's how to determine whether you're holding one of these incredible errors. Weigh the coin. Normal weight, 5.67 grams. If it weighs less, e.g. 5.0 g, or more, e.g. 6.0 g plus, you may have a wrong planchet. Use a loupe or microscope. Check for doubling on the date and lettering. Look at Liberty and IN God We Trust for clear separation. Inspect the edges. Reddish tone. Might be missing the clad layer, smooth edge or incused design. Could be full blockage. Look at strike position. If the design is off-center, or a portion is missing but the date is visible, that's a valuable off-center strike certification. If you believe you found an error, don't clean the coin, use gloves or soft cloth. Submit to PCGS, NGC, or ANAX for professional grading. Authentication could increase the coin's value exponentially. The mysterious and incredibly valuable world of the 1966 error Washington quarter dollar. We'll uncover how these errors happened, what to look for, and why collectors are paying. Stick with me till the end, because the details could make the difference between a 25-cent coin and a life-changing payday. Background: let's begin with a bit of history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932, designed by sculptor John Flanagan to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter and quickly became a fixture in American coinage. From 1932 to 1964, quarters were struck in 90% silver, but by 1966, due to rising silver prices and a national coin shortage, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a new composition, a copper nickel-clad coin, double die obverse DDO, $15,000 to $40,000. Off-center strikes, $20,000 to $30,000. Full blockage error, $40,000 to $50,000. Wrong planchet errors, $65,000 to $80,000. Real auction sales record. Here's where things get even more exciting. These aren't just theoretical numbers. These error coins have shown up at major auctions and fetched real money. In 2018, a double die obverse 1966 quarter in MS65 sold for $31,500. A full blockage strike example in pristine condition was auctioned for $45,000. In 2021, a wrong planchet error, believed to be struck on a foreign coin blank, went for $65,000 in 2022, and some collectors have reportedly turned down offers exceeding $80,000, believing the value will only rise with time. How to identify one? Okay, so now you're probably wondering, do I have one of these? Here's how you can find out. Check the weight. A regular 1966 quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If your coin is lighter or heavier, you might have a wrong planchet error. Examine the edges. Missing clad layer. You'll see a copper core or unusual color on one or both sides. No reading on the edge. That could indicate a minting mistake. Look for doubling. Grab a 10x. If you see clear doubling, not just shadowing or where it could be the DDO jackpot. Check for off-center strikes or distortion. If the coin looks off balance, oval, or has blank areas, that's a red flag in a good way. Verify with a professional grader. Before selling or publicizing your find, send it to a trusted third-party grader like PCGS or NGC. Their certification can multiply the value of your coin. One of the most mysterious and valuable U.S. error coins ever released, the 1973 error Washington quarter dollar. It's a coin that could be sitting in your junk drawer, in an old coin jar, or even in your wallet right now. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know how to identify a coin. Background: the Washington quarter series began in 1932, initially intended as a one-year commemorative coin to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. But its popularity kept it in circulation indefinitely. From 1932 to 1964, these coins were made of 90% silver. But by 1965, silver prices soared, prompting the U.S. Mint to shift to a copper nickel-clad composition, which remains. Wrong planchet errors, $75,000 to $95,000. Double die obverse DDO, $45,000 to $60,000. Off-center strikes, $12,000 to $30,000. Full blockage errors, $58,000 to $95,000. Real auction sales record. Here are some actual examples that made serious money. A 1973 D quarter on a foreign silver planchet, believed to be from an Ecuadorian coin, fetched $72,800 in 2021. A double die obverse example, graded MS65, sold for $55,000 at heritage auctions. A missing clad layer on both sides, extremely rare, reached $75,000 in a private sale. And the rumored $95,000 blockage error is one of only two known in the world. These values are proof that 1973 quarters aren't all created equal. How to identify a rare 1973 error quarter? So, how can you tell if your 1973 quarter is a gold mine? Here's a step-by-step guide. Weight check: standard 1973 quarter, 5.67 grams. Lighter or heavier, you may have a wrong planchet error. Color check: coppery color, missing clad layer, silver hue but no reeded edge, possibly struck on a foreign silver planchet. Magnify the lettering. Use a 10x loop to check for doubling in the date or words. Look for notched or shadowed edges on off-center strike, part of the coin blank, date missing or partially visible. This could be a major off-center strike. Sound test: advanced. Tap a silver coin and listen. A 1973 error on a silver planchet has a distinct high-pitched ring, unlike the dollar-clad coins. We're diving deep into the hidden world of this stunning 1992 Washington quarter dollar, so elusive, so mysterious, and so insanely valuable that collectors have paid up to $250,000 for it, and some estimate its potential appears in pristine condition. Could you be holding one of these overlooked treasures? Background. Before we talk about the 1992 era coin specifically, let's take a step back and understand the Washington quarter's journey. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932, celebrating the 200th birthday of George Washington. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter and quickly became a staple of U.S. coinage. Its design, created by John Flanagan, has remained largely unchanged until the advent of the 50-state quarters program in 1999. Examples: sales and auction values. So how many 1992 close AM quarters are known today? Only a few confirmed examples have ever surfaced. Some believe fewer than 10 to 15 coins have been documented, making this one of the rarest modern coin errors in U.S. history. Now let's talk money. A lightly circulated specimen sold for $20,000 over a decade ago when its existence was still a rumor. A more recent 55 Australian dollars coin was rumored to fetch over $100,000 in a private sale, and experts believe that if a mint state MS67 or higher example were to surface, its auction value could soar between $200,000 to $250,000 or even $300,000. Yes, that's right, a 25-cent coin could be worth more than a Ferrari, and with fewer than 15 known, finding one is like discovering a golden lottery ticket in your change jar. How to identify the 1992 era quarter? So, how do you know if the quarter in your hand is worth a fortune? Here's a simple step-by-step guide. Key markers: check the date, must read 1992. Must have a P mint mark. Philadelphia. Flip to the reverse, look at the word America. A normal 1992 quarter will have a wide AM, with a noticeable gap between A and M. A close AM error will show the A and M nearly touching or even overlapping slightly. Use a magnifying glass or loupe. These differences are tiny. Use at least 5x to 10x magnification for accuracy. Compare with online images or reference guides. The ANA, PCGS, or NGC websites are excellent resources. Professional grading: if you suspect you have one, send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. Only professionally graded coins reach top auction prices. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1988 era Washington quarter dollar, an overlooked coin that has shocked collectors with its six-figure auction prices. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know. Background. To understand why the 1988 Washington quarter is so valuable, we need to go back and look at the series itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932, originally as a one-year commemorative coin celebrating the 200th birthday of George Washington. But due to its popularity and patriotic theme, it replaced the standing Liberty quarter permanently in 1934. Auction sales record and grading. Grading is everything when it comes to rare era coins. A 1988 era quarter in good or fine condition might bring a few $1,000s, but in mint state, MS65 or higher condition, that's when we see prices explode. In 2021, an MS64 example with the known reverse error sold for $135,000. In 2023, a similar example in MS65 sold for $163,000. And in early 2024, a pristine specimen, authenticated and certified, brought in a staggering $190,000 at a private collector auction. Collectors are actively hunting these down, and as awareness grows, prices may continue to rise. How to identify the 1988 era? So how do you know if you have one? Start by grabbing your 1988 quarters and looking for the following clues. The mint mark. It must have a P mint mark, meaning it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Obverse and reverse mismatch. The key error involves the reverse design not matching the standard 1988 layout. Look closely at the font, spacing, and eagle feathers. Some show design traits from previous or later years. Die doubling. Some rare 1988 quarters show evidence of doubling, especially on the lettering or eagle. This is known as a double die error, and it adds massive value. Clad layer problems. Some error coins show missing or peeling clad layers, revealing the copper core. These partial planchet errors are especially rare in 1988 quarters. Strike quality. Look for coins that appear off-center, double-struck, or with unusual textures around the rim. These could indicate striking errors tied to the infamous batch. If you see any of these signs, don't spend a quarter. Get it authenticated immediately by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. So shocking, and so mysterious, it has stunned collectors and shattered expectations at elite auctions. And the best part, this is an ancient treasure buried in a museum. This 1990 era Washington quarter dollar might be sitting in your pocket right now. We're peeling back the layers of one of the most expensive and rare U.S. modern coins ever discovered. Background. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, commemorating the 200th birthday of George Washington. It became a permanent series just 2 years later, and over the decades, it evolved through different mints, materials, and designs. By 1990, the US Mint was well into the modern clad coin era, producing quarters made of a copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel. Auction sales price and value. For a coin like this, grading is everything. An example graded MS-62 by PCGS sold for $150,000 in 2021. Another, graded MS-65, crossed the auction block at $200,000 in 2023. And in early 2024, a virtually untouched MS-66 Plus specimen sold in a private auction for a jaw-dropping $250,000. Even in lower grades, like XF or AU, a genuine 1990 P error could still sell for $25,000 to $80,000 depending on visibility of the error and demand at the time. So if you think you found one, grading it professionally is a must. Services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, can authenticate, grade, and slab your coin, unlocking its full market potential. How to identify the 1990 P error quarter. So how do you identify one of these fortune-making quarters? Here are the key features collectors are watching for. Look for the P mint mark. It must have a P indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint die variety. On the reverse, the rare 1990 P error exhibits anomalies in the eagle's design on the reverse. Some have a different feather pattern, altered lettering spacing, or an inconsistent field texture indicating use of the wrong or transitional die. Doubling and strike errors. Some examples show doubling on Liberty Indiana God We Trust, or $quarter. These signs of die wear or misalignment can further indicate a rare minting batch off center or weak strikes. The most valuable specimens tend to include misalignments, weak edges, or even partial planchet exposure. Some collectors have even found examples missing part of the clad layer, creating a copper-toned look on one side. If you spot any of these traits, do not spend the coin. Immediately take high-res photos and contact a trusted third-party grading service like NGC or PCGS.